40 times and is visiting the Steve Hatherly Show for the second time. Please help me welcome back to the program, Paul Potts.
Hey.
Well, it's been 9 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, I feel old enough already. Now I feel older. Thank you.
Well, welcome back. It's great to have you here. Welcome back to Korea for, as I mentioned, over 40 times now.
Yeah, I think it's been suggested to me more than once that I should get dual citizenship or something. But,
Do you have an apartment here?
I don't know. I don't have an apartment here. But it's always great coming back. It is literally like a second home for me. I'm coming in and out of Incheon all the time. So it's a beautiful country, and a lot of people know Korea more for its industry, but the coastline is just stunning.
Oh, so that leads me to believe you've had a great opportunity to travel around lots while you've been here.
Yeah, I've done probably 35 cities here. So I've been to places like Korea, Gwangju, Yeosu. Obviously Busan, but a lot of the slightly less obvious places like Socho.
I think you might know more about the geography than we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Hannah's here.
Hello.
You're meeting for the first time. Jihee's here. You are not meeting for the first time.
No, I've had the pleasure. I'd say she's had the pleasure, but
Yes.
I'm sure it's not that pleasure. Because I'm not very good at giving short answers, and so Jihee has the pleasure of translating for me quite frequently, and I can always see her scurrying with her pen trying to keep up with what I'm saying, because I speak off the top of my head. But she's a pleasure to work with.
Oh,
When,
it was
when did you meet for the first time, Jihee?
in 2017. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, goodness me, you're good
Yes.
friends now then.
Yeah, Facebook friends and all.
Yes, definitely.
Very
yes.
nice. You had May 7th, which was just yesterday. You received an award for the 7th Korean Art and Cultural Awards, co-hosted by the Cultural Ministry. You have a concert at the Suwon Art Center. Goodness me, you're singing in Korean this time around. This is a whirlwind trip.
Yeah, I hope I don't make too much of a butchery of the Korean language. I've had some interesting mistakes.
You're looking at Jihee as you said that.
For example.
Well, I'll leave people to draw their own conclusions to what I actually sang. But in Korean Gongan-san is 보위 치마라, and I put the chi in the wrong place.
Jihee, you were coaching
Yeah.
Paul a little bit.
Yes, I helped. I wasn't coaching him directly, but he met a coach 2 years ago before you sang with Pedahe. So he was training to be able to pronounce the Korean vowels. And I remember interpreting that for him. And it was pretty difficult because I had to explain how you have to kind of roll the tongue in this way and that to pronounce the different vowels. And it's very different from how you sing and how your mouth and tongue is put when you sing, right? And
Yeah,
you
with
had-
some of the vowels, it closes the throat.
Right.
And with Italianate singing, you need an open throat. So
I
the tongue rolls up to the back of the throat and it closes. So it makes things interesting. So I have to make them an approximation of the right vowel sound.
Singing in Korean, you talked about, the reason opera is different from other genres of music is because of the feeling. But if you're switching up languages and singing in a different language, does it still feel the same to you?
It's all down to the songwriting, really. If the lyrics have met with the music, then you'll know where the emotional bits are, because the music will tell you where the emotional words are. It's useful to know the meaning of certain words. It's much easier if you really do understand, of course, which I don't completely. I know how to order beer and things like that, but and how to use certain words in road rage in the UK. But
Just not in Koreatown in the UK.
no, I don't use it in Korea. But so things like mayumyu is when you're singing about the heart.
Yes.
There's certain words you get to know, but it's if the songwriter is matched to the music well, you know when the emotional bits are, because the
Right.
music will tell you.
You flipped a coin to go on Britain's Got Talent. If it ended up the wrong way, you weren't going to do it.
Exactly. I flipped a coin, and if it landed on tails, I'd have cancelled the whole thing. But not only that, when it came to getting the invitation to do the audition, it was on a Saturday. I was a store manager in retail, and Saturdays you don't get time off.
Right.
You know, it's unless you're actually going on holiday. And I already had somebody. I was already had one of my assistants on holiday. He offered to come off his holiday, but I said no. I know your wife. You're at home. You've got a holiday to do DIY. If your wife knows that I've asked you to come in, she will kill me as well as you.
Yeah.
And so I phoned up Britain's Got Talent. I said, look, can I do the audition on a different day? I know it's in Cardiff for 5 days. Can I do it on the Sunday? And they said, no, if you can't make it, you can't do it. But luckily, one of my part-timers, who was a key holder, was able to come in and cover for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And also, I didn't think you could do what you loved for a career. I figured that you had to work doing things you didn't necessarily like in order to do the things that you like. I didn't think it was possible to do what you liked as your career, and life's taught me otherwise. But I never believed that that my singing would ever take me that way. But not only that, I had a period of 4 years where I wasn't really able to sing properly because I'd had 2 major operations, and one to remove a burst appendix, which I'd been walking around with for a week.
That's death for most people, yeah.
And then they found a tumor on my adrenal gland. It was about this size.
Goodness me.
And it was probably that burst the appendix.
Yeah.
They didn't spot it when they took the appendix out. And I was off work then for 8 months, although I did 2 operas in that time, immediately before the operation and immediately afterwards. And they literally, and this freaked me out at the time, the surgeon told me, right, we're going to thread a tube through your vocal cords because we need to stop you breathing. Because they had to stop my diaphragm moving, or else there was a risk they'd cut through a major artery. So I was literally put onto a ventilator while I was put under, which kind of freaked me out a little bit. But and then,
to say the least,
I was on stage then within 2 days of being discharged from hospital, and during the rehearsal I started bleeding.
Oh, no.
And everybody was freaking out, and I'm not scared of the sight of my own blood. I just went and changed the dressing and carried on, and I did those 2 operas, and then just after, I'd literally been back at work for 3 days, and somebody pulled out of a petrol station without looking properly, knocked me off my bike.
you get hit by a car.
Yeah, a severe fracture to my collarbone, and complicated fracture as well. And then I was off for another 8 months. So financially, I couldn't. I was paying to sing, so financially I couldn't continue. So when I stood on that stage on March the 17th, 2007, it was the last time I'd ever sing. In my head, it was the last time I'd ever sing.
Oh, you thought that was it?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
for me, that was the last
Right.
time I'd ever sing, because I was paying to do it. I wasn't being paid to do it. I paid to do it, and financially, we were struggling to pay the bills. We'd missed 1 or 2 payments on our mortgage. We were just kind of starting to get things. We were in a payment arrangement on lots of things, and so financially, I couldn't expect my wife not to go out anywhere with her friends, so I could go and do something that wasn't paying me anything. So as far as I was concerned, I'd given up at that point.
Unbelievable. It's amazing how life can change in the
Yeah.
blink of an eye, because yours absolutely did. They should make a movie about your life. Oh, wait, they did.